Hey,
Weevil,
hey,
I
Walt,
was watching that Weevil's Tubbs age, Johnny. What's going on?
guess what?
Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely
What's
girls.
old is new, baby. What's old is new. I wonder how many people are watching us play funny, stupid little clips.
Well, those seemed a little bit to me. They were a little bit boring in comparison to some of the ones I've seen. What do you think? Some of the toys I remember, some of them I was like, yeah, I remember that toy wasn't that great. I'm not sure.
The Weevil's Tub Sub.
Yeah,
All you did was go back and forth, and then you were done. Like, what happened?
I have no
That
idea.
was it.
I have
I was
no
watching the
idea.
Charlie's Angels thing, right? The Charlie's Angels, the canopy. How did they get up there?
Speaking
I mean,
of
I know
Charlie's
you put them
Angels,
up there, but
speaking of Charlie's Angels, I got a retro joke from 1970s since we're already here. You ready?
let's do it.
So I this is a little bit edgy. I really want to keep the show clean, but I'm going to. How do I say this without hurting anybody? So I just had rear entry with one of the original cast of Charlie's Angels, and my friend said, "Faucet." I said, "No, it slipped right in." That's a retro joke from 1970.
1970s retro joke.
Hey, this is welcome. This is fun. So we did this last week, and we had like 3,000 people watch this show, and I never expected this to happen. And here we are again. Hopefully, we're here again, and I have lots of toys and fun stuff, and think. I mean, first of all, I want to do movies. I want to do the 70s and 80s movies, the sitcoms. We want to do all the other stuff, but this right now is exciting just because there's millions of toys. I could go, looking through the stuff, there's millions of things we can do here.
I forgot all about that G.I. Joe where he brought the Sphinx out of the ground, like the mummy tomb. And I'm like, wow, I remember that. It was like a little plastic thing. And you got to do it once. You uncovered the mummy once, and then like how many times could you do the same thing?
Let me ask you this. Do you remember there was a G.I. Joe that went to the moon? They had a special edition one that went to the moon.
Was that one faked also? Was that one faked also?
It came with a capsule, like the white capsule.
Yes, like the Gilligan's Island capsule.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
The cosmonauts came.
Yeah, and I also remember there was an Action Jackson, which was another one of those like figures. Action Jackson.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Did Carl Weathers do a movie called Action Jackson?
Yeah, you're right. It must be the same person. See, maybe we haven't brought anything even up here, and
12 minutes in.
Yeah, and somebody's saying, "Hey, Deborah Yanni's going. There's no sound. There was no sound, but I think we're good now, Deborah." So people are already commenting here. Look at this. Tina's like, I love Hungry Hippos. Oh. How could you not like Hungry Hippos? I've turned into I'm actually an old man who is a Hungry Hippo now.
Yes. Hey, also, let's just tell everybody out there, if you like this, like us on like the Facebook, right?
Thumbs up, yeah. Let us know.
Like us on Facebook, because the more Facebook hits we get, the better off we're going to be.
And let us know what you want to see.
Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of this. I mean, I can go on for days and days. Hi, Jellyfish. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Daniel. What was the old show back in the day where they used to look through the thing and Romper Room, was it? When it was like I see
Daniel, and I see Arlene, and I see Also, a new feature that John came across this week is that if you comment,
wrong way. Sorry.
You put a comment out there, John can pull it up and put it up there. So if you have a question or you remember something from one of the toys we're showing, by all means, put the comment up there. Johnny will pull it up and your name will be up there. You'll be famous on 2,500 views or whatever it is.
You're trying to pull them in with that, huh?
let's not work about famous with us.
Yes, let's not work on creating really clever content. Let's just hope that everyone is narcissistic enough to like them.
Everybody wants to be famous, like Daniel.
Daniel, yes, Daniel. All right, look.
All right,
Daniel.
So let's start with the toy.
Look at Daniel. I haven't been bored yet to do what you do. All right, so first up, I'll bring up the first. I got a bunch of cool things here. I'm going to start with number one of the list of fun stuff. What could it possibly be? What could it possibly be? Ants in the Pants. Now, we all remember Ants in the Pants.
Yes.
All right, tell me, what do you remember about Ants in the Pants? what you remember first. I'll hit you. I'll hit you up there. Go ahead.
All right. So you want, all right. So ants in the pants, if you take it that ants in the pants, what I remember of it was a plastic set of pants with suspenders, which we just saw, and had these little ants that they were plastic, but they were almost like they were made where if you pushed them down, they popped up. So you had it was almost like, you know what it was? It was a really first game of quarters. If you ever played quarters to get yourself drunk and at a frat party, you had to take the quarter and bounce it into the glass. Well, these you had to push the ants down. They would spring up and land in the pants. Am I right, Johnny? Am I right? I think
yes, that's it. I wanted to see if I could show it to you. I think I have a little link of it here if you want to see it, which is kind of interesting. This I remember hitting this ants in the pants. It was like a silly game, and here it is. This is the game Ants in the Pants.
Now you've got it. Remember the fun of ants in the pants?
shut out a pretty far.
Pass it on to your kids.
That's some far shots.
Your ants in to win. You've got ants in the pants.
I do, Grandpa. I really do.
And who could forget? Don't spill the beans.
Careful, Grandpa.
Oh, we got a bonus. Don't spill the beans.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Pass on the fun of ants in the pants and don't spill the beans. There's Cootie and don't break the ice too.
All of those were made by the same company, and they all were kind of cool. But I remember Ants in Pants. I mean, for the first 2 seconds, press the little thing was funny, and then it became stupid. I think after
now you're trying to bounce them off walls. But you know what? That's a good drinking game because quarters is the same premise. Only this one you have a game you can pull out.
Absolutely. Hey,
yeah,
another thing, Walt, that I was looking at, and this is an interesting thing too. And why is it so interesting? I'm going to tell you because, and this has been around forever. Matter of fact, you could hear it already in the background, wondering what it is. This is a classic, another classic. Boom.
Oh, it's a Dunkin' Yo-Yo.
Correct. The genuine, original Dunkin' Yo-Yo. This is the big one. This is like
they were always the best.
This is what began the whole thing, right?
Yes.
And not only, I don't know about you, I spent endless hours throwing that thing in the air, goofing around. And one of it's been around so long. I actually have one of the earliest commercials that looks like from back in the day. I don't know. This is kind of crazy.
Vulcan chicken.
You heard him, kids.
It's a Vulcan chicken.
Junior Yo-Yo return top. And are they fun? They're actually very special yo-yos. See? They're about the size of a $50, made of plastic in bright colors, and they're free. Yes, that's the big news.
Free. The size of $50. The size of a $50 is not that big.
Free.
They're free. But you know what the best ones were? What are they, size of Oreos?
Yeah.
That's not right, though.
That's not right.
That's not right. Those are big pants people.
That's right.
That's not. They weren't the size of a $50.
Well, that's what
maybe the original ones were.
That's when it first started. And then what came out after that?
The glow in the dark one. Look at this guy. I used to try that. I could never do that. That's what I remember.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and that was the butterfly one. I like that one. The butterfly one was easier to walk the dog, if you remember.
Right. It would do a longer walk the dog.
Yes. And I was able to do the swing. I wish I had a yo-yo right now. You could still buy these at not Toys R Us, at Walmart.
Oh, but not the same like the good Dunkins anymore,
Dunkin',
right?
yeah, Dunkin', the glow-in-the-dark Dunkin' yo-yos.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm sure they're made from, they're made in China now.
But I remember this being a craze. I remember it was like there was booklets that you could buy and order in the mail for these Dunkin' yo-yos. It was, and I remember first it was a Dunkin', then came out this butterfly one. And then there were people that would give classes on it, and there were people that would do demonstrations, and there were people that are pros. You're like, oh my God, I wish I could do that. And there was not only walk the dog, was the one that you make it into a V and it swings the baby.
Yeah, the
swing, right?
You know, was the other one where you could take it and you take it and you roll it down and then you spin it around,
around the world.
Yeah, around the world. That's what it was, around the world. And then you catch it in your hand if you were really good.
That's right. It would come back. And there's the one where you throw it out and it comes right back to you. I forget.
I can do that. You point back in.
And there was one other one. You did the walk the dog, and you would take a sheet of newspaper on the floor, and you'd put it, you make it go to sleep on the floor, and then you'd walk it along the newspaper and go, "Ooh," and then you pick it back up.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah,
Now I gotta go buy one.
the newspaper was a big thing. That was a big thing. Like, listen, it was good time. I spent countless hours before masturbation doing that. That was a very important thing.
Before you switch to a new toy, this reminds me, and we're probably never going to remember this, so I'm going to bring it up now. But do you remember the craze back on the boardwalk down in Jersey Shore, where they would have the leash with the dog harness,
the invisible dog?
You have it? You have the invisible dog? I can't believe that. That is so funny because everybody wanted that invisible dog, and we were all walking along the board. It was big in the Jersey Shore. Everybody had him at the boardwalk, but what it was a stiff leash. It wasn't like a loose leash. It was
hard.
Leash.
It had metal in it.
Yeah,
and it looked
so
like
the dog was pulling it. The invisible dog was pulling the leash.
Yeah.
But everybody be walking
it was red too, wasn't it? Red plastic, like red. If I remember,
a red. It could have been a red harness with a red leash. I seem to remember them matching. It was whatever the harness was the color of the leash.
Yeah.
There'd be 25 people walking along the boardwalk with you, with an invisible dog, and nobody was saying anything. Like, oh, look at the little dog.
I got a comment. Where you going, Tony? Walking digger, ma. Is that what the commercial is?
That's my brother.
That's your brother?
Yes.
He has no picture. His face is purple.
His big, yeah. Well, that was when he was a little twisted that day. But yeah, he knows all these toys, man. The Seaside Heights Boardwalk, walking the dog. So what do you got next? What do we got next?
I got lots of coming up here. The next one is one of the things I think that you'll be familiar with as well. I mean, all of these are familiar. Now listen, somebody said last week, this, you're doing all guys' toys, so I had to throw in a girl's toy. So, which I don't have.
That was Arlene.
Oh, it was Arlene. Okay, Arlene.
It was Arlene. Arlene said it was wonderful, but there was no girl. Who's that? Drowsy?
Yeah, Drowsy Doll. Now, Drowsy Doll was an interesting thing too because she said this kind of like, mommy. I don't know. She did this kind of weird. Let me see.
And then what'd you do? Put some chloroform over her face?
I don't know. I never had one.
I don't like that haircut. That haircut. Mommy's in trouble for getting a haircut like that.
I think maybe she grew up to be Ellen.
What did she do? Well, you're pushing her stomach for something. So maybe that made her eyes close.
No. If you were listening to that, if we were listening to that thing, apparently she's like just basically saying, "Mommy, I need this," and "Mommy, I need that." She's kind of
like every kid today.
She's a whiny kid, yeah. But apparently she's a whiny little girl.
Aren't they all?
Like a lot of comedians I know. But this thing, interestingly enough, too, though, I understand was huge. Now, I didn't play with dolls as a kid. I mean, the only matter of fact,
now you play.
I had a younger brother. Yeah, now I play with dolls for a living. That's right.
For a living.
I got one right here. I got a puppet right there. But something that's interesting too. When I was a kid, my brother was 4 years younger than me, and to me, playing with dolls was like girls' things. I remember thinking, "That's for girls." And my brother came in, and that's why I remember Action Jackson, because he had an Action Jackson little doll, and I remember thinking that's girls' stuff. But I was just past
even like boy dolls. You thought I had a big Jim Camper with the big Jim doll and G.I. Joe headquarters. I had dolls.
And how does? Oh, I'm not making a show.
Look at how I turned out.
Is that what you call turning it out? Okay,
turning it out. No, you know what? And this is the truth, and my mother will vouch for this. And this is something that nobody probably does. When I was a kid, I would have like the big Jim Camper, or I would have the G.I. Joe with the headquarters, or any toy I had. After I was done playing with it, I put it back in its box and put it away. Yes. So after years, when I wasn't playing with that toy on it anymore, my mother used to give them to my aunt, who was her sister, and she used to give those, because they were pristine, to my cousins for Christmas.
Wow.
That's how nicely I kept my toys.
Look at this. Wow. Have girls' toys changed since back then? Boy, is that the truth.
That is true.
Because back then, girls were raised to be mothers and to be princesses and to get married and have children.
Now,
I'm not even going there, but it's a different world. It's really a different world, whether it's better or worse.
I don't think that's what Ray's talking about, though.
That's what I'm thinking he's talking about. I don't know.
I think Ray is talking about this, like that Sleepy doll, Insomnia doll. It was pink. The girls' toys today are still pink.
Well, not all of them are pink. Not all.
Candyland. Charlie, games are going to be another whole show.
Yeah, you know something. That's the truth. You could do a whole show just on the games.
Just on board games.
Yeah, just on board games alone. Now, this next one coming up, of course. Are we ready for it?
Sure.
Of course. The next one coming up after Drowsy is a classic.
Everybody had Mr. Potato Head.
That's right. And now, you don't realize it, but how long has been Mr. Potato Head been out? Look at that box. This is like this has got early 60s, late 50s. This is like the original Mr. Potato Head.
It looks like a potato.
Right?
See, the potato head that I grew up with was skinny at the top, and then it got fat on by the face.
Hey, by the way,
head was skinny. This was just a round potato.
I just got an instant message from that vintage guy I was telling you about. He's allowing us to use his videos.
Oh, good.
He sent me a message. I hope he's watching right now. So I'd like to meet him. He seems like an interesting person.
Maybe we'll bring him on. Maybe we'll bring him on the next toy show we have.
Something? I would love to bring him on.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mr. Potato Head, let's see if this will work. I have Mr. Potato Head, I think, loaded up. I think this is the earlier commercial of Mr. Potato Head.
What do you got for us?
3 new potato pops.
That's scary. That's scary.
And Mr. Potato Bug.
I remember that big box, though. Look at that. How creepy is that?
That's a creepy potato.
Yeah, imagine. Could you imagine seeing that guy in the play yard? Be like, get the hell away from me.
That's what they used to get kids to play with that toy. Look, it looks like. Get out of here.
Mr. Potato Head and his pals.
That is scary.
Now, here's something else that's interesting about this. That was one of the commercials for Mr. Potato Head, right? But then there was I was looking up these Mr. Potato Head commercials because I have a very busy life. And as I'm looking up the Mr. Potato Head, there was another Mr. Potato Head that came on later that you may even remember, a different one. Let's see.
No, I'll tell you if I remember this one.
Oh, sorry.
That's Slinky.
Yeah, but you know something? It's Slinky, but the Mr. Potato's in there, I think. Oh, God, I remember that song.
Jeez. You could never let those go downstairs. Never made it down a stair. Maybe 2 stairs.
Everyone knows it's Slinky, it's Slinky, it's Slinky. But what is the rest of the story? It's Slinky, it's Slinky.
Look at this, under $1.
Yeah, I remember the box it came in, too.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was the Slinky dog.
Your favorite store.
Wasn't as good as the Invisible Dog, but it was fun.
I'm trying to find
Mr. Potato Head?
Yeah, the original Potato Heads coming.
Is that him?
There it is. Look at how old this commercial is.
Those kids are dead.
Their own cars and trailers. That's what's new. See,
That's Mr. Potato Head?
Car and boat trailer. And there's a car and shopping trailer for his wife, Mrs. Potato Head. It's such fun to do.
Oh, John, I know what that is.
Take any fruit or vegetable.
That's a real potato.
Yes.
And you put the nose and everything in the real potato.
Yes.
You can make the funniest looking people.
Oh, I do remember that. You could just buy the nose and ears.
Every time you
What was the biggest problem you had with these things, though?
Yeah, you're right. That was that original Mr. Potato Head was with real potatoes, and then later on they came out with the plastic one rather than waste the potato after the potato famine, I presume. I don't know.
What was the biggest problem with Mr. Potato Head?
Mrs. Potato Head?
No, you would always lose an ear.
Oh yeah, then you'd
always lose an ear, or you'd have one eye. You'd have to put it like a Cyclops potato head because you'd lose the pieces.
And I don't know about you, but one of the things that really bothered me about potatoes is when they have the little white piece that grows out of them, and you got to click it off before you clean it or cook it or do anything with it. That little piece, is like, to me, it's like a pimple, or it's like it's like Dr.
Another
Pimple.
potato trying to grow. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Is that what it is? It's a baby
Yeah, I
potato.
think so.
So am I doing an abortion on a general potato when I pop
may
it?
be.
I'm
Every
aborting.
time you eat an egg, you're doing a chicken abortion.
Oh, here comes a comment from Tom. There you go. Did you know that Don Rickles was the voice of Mr. Potato in a Toy Story
Yeah,
movie?
of course we did, Tom.
Everyone knows that one. Cut it out.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah,
Huh?
Tom, did you hear we landed on the moon?
Hey, do you know that there's a game room in Mount Airy Lodge? Totally. That's useless information right
Tom,
there.
go to Mount Airy Lodge. Mount Airy Lodge is back, though.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a new Mount Airy Lodge.
Now, who's this? Look at this. David First. Look, he's got that cute little baby with a deck of cards. This guy's a magician.
All right, as of the 80s, love seeing the classic stuff. Very cool. David, hey, this is probably one of the guys from one of the sites, because I shared that we were going to be on one of the vintage toy sites.
And time
So
is
this
flying
might
here.
be-
It's 30
What?
minutes in. We're 30 minutes in.
Yeah, he just got here?
No, I'm just saying we're 30 minutes in already. It's like I haven't even gone through 100. There's so much stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
don't forget, we started late because of the intro, so we'll go like an hour and 5 minutes. Joey Callahan. Joey Callahan always got to be in on something.
He's always a wise. Got a wise.
Always got
wise
to make
guy.
fun of it. My head does look like a very shapely potato.
I want to pick that little piece. I want to abort that piece on
Right
the
here.
side.
Right here. That's the little
Right
piece
here.
of potato. That's the eye. They
let's
call it
see.
the eye of the potato.
The eye of the potato. Look who else is there. We got everybody. This is more fun than
Eddie
Barrel
Clark.
Movie. 1960s Mr. Machine was my favorite. Never heard of
Well,
that.
that was on that video. It was on there
Oh.
when we were looking for Potato Head.
That metal thing. I don't remember that at all.
I barely remember it, but I had no interest in getting it because it looked like it was a piece of garbage.
I don't even remember that. Wow. Interesting.
What do we got next?
I showed you this. That's the original.
Slinky.
That's the Slinky. But
Yeah, but
here's another one for girls. Are you ready for girls?
What is that? The Barbie camper?
That's the Barbie camper and the Barbie motorhome actually is what it's called.
I remember that.
You do remember it? And
My sister had that. I think my sister had that.
Okay, I didn't know you had a sister.
I do. I have a sister.
All right, here it is.
And listen, just for the record, I never played with that.
Barbie motorhome. It's called Barbie Star Traveler. Put it together and pretend it's a real home on wheels. And now with Barbie doll, fix the dinner in the kitchen. Get the dishes out, set the table. There's a play shower, even bunk bed. And a neat sun deck for a picnic. Pack up and Barbie's ready to go again. The Barbie Star Traveler motorhome comes with all you see here. Mounted with Barbie dolls sold separately from Mattel.
All those pieces were gone, like on day 2. All those pieces.
Yeah.
My sister wasn't good with her toys.
Yeah, but I don't remember. I remember this item. I didn't actually have it, of course. I didn't play with that kind of toy. I like stuff that you banged around and shot, and I don't know, war in cowboys and Indians and guns and games and interactive games. We used to play.
The games are cool. But getting back to that Slinky, John, how many stairs do you think you've ever gotten Slinky down?
That's a good
Because
question.
that was the selling point. That
Well,
it goes downstairs.
It was hours of fun trying to make it do what it did on the commercial, but it never did.
Yeah. It literally, this is what you did with Slinky.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then later on, they cheapened up the Slinkies. You remember they came out with
the plastic one. It became
version
plastic.
ones and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't like that, the plastic one. I
I
like
wasn't
the
big.
metal one. The metal, because it made the metal noise.
Me too. I skipped over one of the things I wanted to bring up that I thought was, and this was something that, like, I guess little kids have, and everyone probably remembers this too.
Oh yeah, the farm sounds. Is that the farm sounds?
That's the farm it says, but there was a bunch of them. It's called See and Say Talking Toy by Mattel, and so
Yeah,
you'd pull it out and it goes, then the farmer said, like that. I think I have a commercial on it. I think.
Well, no. What it used to do is wherever
Oops.
the farmer was pointing at, he was pointing at you. When you pull the string, it knew to play the sound of that animal. So if it was pointing at the cow, it says the cow says boo, and that's how little kids learned how to where steak came from. You got the commercial for it?
Yeah, actually I do. I just loaded up here, and I got it right here. Let me see if I could add it to the stream. This will be cool. This was it back in, I don't know what year this was.
The duck goes quack.
Now you can listen to what the farmer says. Point the dial
It was angry.
and pull a string. Learn the sounds of 12 different farm animals. Now go to. It's a whole farm.
What is that?
You wondering what that is, right?
Yeah, is that you?
No.
Is that them changing it?
Yes.
There you go. We found out something about copyright this week, that if you change it a little bit, so if we change something, we can use it.
Right, and that's what people are doing. They stick things in there that make the change the
That's
content.
what we have to do. Maybe just put our intro on it beforehand.
We have to do it in the different places so it doesn't play the way it was supposed to, from what I understand from the Fair Use Act. That's something that I'm putting a lot more attention on. Hey, one of the things that I did bring up here, and interestingly enough, by the way, let's just check the comments real quick too. Yeah, everyone's
Let's get some comments.
huh?
Okay, let's check the comments. See who's with us. Joey Callahan. MC was killed by Mr. Potato Head.
Let's see. Arlene's like, thank you guys for the girls.
Arlene.
Yeah.
I talked to Arlene last week.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Here's Daniel.
Daniel, all the way out in East. For the people who don't watch, haven't seen John Peasy and Daniel, what's his last name? Martin?
Miller.
Daniel Miller he's one of the only people in the world who has a urinal in his house.
He's a retro guy.
He has a urinal.
Yep. He's a retro man.
That's a good betting game. King of Queens. Which one is that?
I don't know. I don't know which one he's talking about. The last one I was.
Yeah, that would have worked if we had Jimmy Schubert on.
Yeah, you go. Hey, I didn't want to bring this one up.
Why?
But because it's not related to this, but I just thought it was interesting. Remember this?
Maypo. Why don't I remember that?
And this is a food item, but I just like somebody mentioned him as like, oh damn, Maypo. I forgot all about Maypo.
Is that why is it Maypo? Because some people would say that's Maypo oatmeal.
It was the commercial was I want my Maypo. Does that sound familiar to you?
Were they making fun of somebody?
No, it was a cereal.
Maypo sounds like somebody slang for maple.
It was I want my Maypo. That was the actual commercial. I think this is it here.
I wonder who's sleeping in the living room. It's Uncle Ralph. Wake up, you old Ralph, Spike.
Oh, Marty, no, it's much too early. Not till breakfast time.
What do you like for breakfast?
Go to your room and play, Marty.
Very responsible adult there, by the way. Letting little kids cook while he's sleeping.
In his hat.
No candy before breakfast.
Somehow I remember that hat.
Either that or it's mom's bra.
Yes. And this guy's sleeping with an open container of milk. How safe is that? And the teapot.
What do you want?
I want my Maypo.
All right, if I prepare your breakfast, do you
I
promise?
want my Maypo.
That was the line.
See, I think Maypo was short for maple. So people who didn't know how to say maple said Maypo.
I don't know. I just know that I look back at this and I'm like, I remember commercials. This is like one of the first ones in black and white. And then later on, it was all these, I want my Maypo. And
I don't remember that, but I would almost like Opie Griffith would call paw instead of pa.
Pa, yeah, that's right. You could be right. I have no idea. Maybe somebody in the chat knows what the real deal is. Eddie goes, I remember that. Everyone, I remember that.
Eddie Clark. I never met Eddie Clark.
Oh, he's a great guy. We just spoke yesterday. It was an ad gimmick.
See?
I imagine so.
It was an ad gimmick. I mean, the cartoon sucked.
Now,
and it was very irresponsible.
Here's something I am familiar with, Walt, because as a kid, I was a chubby. I still am a chubby.
I never was.
I
am now.
Look at you. You're drinking sugar there. Look at your health nut. Coca-Cola. Oh, my God.
I went from Mountain Dew to Coca-Cola.
You can't put product placement on these things.
Oh, sorry.
So you went from the green to the red. But this, remember this? I ate a lot of this.
Bosco.
Oh man, Bosco.
I remember that bottle.
Yeah, right.
Remember that bottle? Now it's a squeeze thing where you squeeze it in. But I remember that bottle.
I remember this. This was good times back in the day. And I used to put and when you got that bottle, you had like a little scoop of ice cream, and you had a half a bottle of Bosco on it.
Yeah, but a lot of people who don't know, younger people, if there's any younger people out there, and then
I
Bosco, they probably don't even make Bosco now. It's probably Hershey or something like that.
I don't know.
That they make, but the Bosco, you put it into milk, and it would make a chocolate milk. A really chocolatey. So the more Bosco you put in, the more chocolate milk you would have. But that was cool because what you had to do is it would stick to the bottle. So you turn the bottle upside down, so it would all come down to the cap. And then when you opened it up, it would fall in.
That's right.
It was the same premise with ketchup now.
I have the commercial on this in black and white.
Do it. Bosco the Cowboy.
No Bronco Buster.
Make that bigger.
Can ride a horse. Like Bosco Bear. Oh, Bosco makes his Bosco.
I don't remember this.
I don't either.
You love Bosco too?
What do you say?
Real chocolate.
That's Bosco Milk Amplifier, made by an exclusive process that gives you all these extras. Bosco and milk gives you extra energy, more and
Yeah,
more
sure.
energy. It's so easy to mix. And Bosco is double chocolatey, makes the smoothest chocolate drink of all. It's rich in vitamin D and muscle-building iron. And Bosco can be served so many different, wonderful ways.
That's garbage. That's no way.
Bosco makes a Sunday. Every day's a fun day with B-O-S-C-O.
Everyone loves Bosco.
That was chocolate syrup in a bottle.
Yeah, basically. You know
That's all
something?
it was.
I like the way people used to sing back in the 50s and say da 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 boom. Everything was like happy. It was always like bump 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 bump.
You remember? Yeah, you remember in Back
happy
to the
time.
Future when he went back to 1955 and
Right.
the Texaco gas station. The guys came out and they were
Right.
doing the
Wiping their
windshield and they were checking the oil and they had this Mr. Sandman playing in the background.
And are we just old son of a guns like talking about silly things? I mean, I'm thinking
Absolutely.
about it.
Nothing more than old right here. Young kids would know nothing about this. What do you got?
Let's see,
Bob Rumba.
was a push down squirt pump. I don't know if maybe inside of like a candy store.
You know what? Maybe what they did, maybe Bob is saying this, and I vaguely remember this, that when you bought that, they probably had a pump on it that you could take the top off, put the pump in it, pump your Bosco out, and then take the pump out, lick it off.
Maybe.
And put
But
the
not
cap
that,
back.
but not those 1950 ones.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Now Eddie just said, "Look, I love Bosco too," but he also what he just told me, and I do remember this. He's right.
The Officer Joe Bolton show.
What
Yeah, it
channel?
was. I'm going to say that was on Channel 9.
I remember. I watched it every day.
11?
It was
11?
WPIX.
I was gonna listen.
Who the hell is Officer Joe Bolton? Why was he on television? Why was Officer Joe Bolton on television? Who was
That was
he?
like
What did
Officer
he do?
Friendly.
Yeah.
Who's Officer Friendly?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's just some friendly cop.
It's so funny to think about that. Like, why is he on that? Why was that guy? What did Officer Joe Bolton do to put him on television?
I don't know. I don't remember watching the show, but if you remember, and the youngsters in the audience, if there are any that are watching or going to watch, we grew up with Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 9, 11, 13, and sometimes you would get Channel 47 if you put the rabbit ears up and you had a knob on it that went that far.
You're right.
There you go. Because people respect the car. All right, Eddie,
Right.
don't get political.
As a matter
on
of
us,
fact,
all right?
I also Floyd.
Eddie's being topical today.
I see him. Eddie used to be a cop, so
Eddie Job.
Joe Gallagher.
No, Steve, we're
He
not
was
old.
on-
We're vintage.
We're vintage.
We're vintage.
We're yellow.
That's what we are.
Matter of fact, our faces are more pink than our arteries.
Channel 11. There you go. Eddie Clark. Channel 11.
Who played,
Who played
the Merry Mailman?
I don't even know. You?
I don't even know what he's talking about. Do you maybe
Probably
tell
on
us?
Officer Joe Bolton.
Oh, I don't recall.
All right, we
No.
got. What's the next toy?
No more food. You want like skip the food.
I don't
Okay.
care. It don't matter. Food.
I
Toy.
just had those. I don't know what. I threw the 2 food things in. This is a classic. I played this, and it became a cheap item later on.
Barrel of Monkeys.
That's right.
Loved it.
Classic. What do you remember? What do you remember about the barrel of monkeys?
Or if you would get one monkey and you'd have to reach into the barrel, and the monkey's arms were sort of like this, and then you had to scoop another monkey and pull them out and see how many. And then if you had 2 monkeys hooked together by their arms, you have to reach back into the barrel and try to get a 3rd monkey on there. Am I right?
Hours of fun.
Hours of fun. And
hours of fun.
They were nice monkeys back then. They were well put together. Now they were like plastic and you couldn't hook them, and just was no fun.
Once the Chinese started making it back then, I don't know when it was made. I think I have a video on that one, I believe. Let me see. Yes, I do.
That was good. People used to hide their pot in the barrel.
A barrel of fun. Can you get the monkey? I want to go world. You gotta be kind of careful, because monkeys really monkey around. A barrel of monkeys. How many can you pick out? A barrel of fun. That's the workshop.
I remember that barrel.
Yeah, I do remember the different color barrels too.
You do? Yeah. But I remember they were cheaper. Later on, they became like, trite.
The barrels were good for hiding drugs later on for people. That's a barrel of monkeys right there. That's
a 1960s Breaking Bad version of moving drugs around the country.
That's where everybody put it. Now, I had this guy.
Now, I don't see it yet. There it is. Okay.
Big Jim.
You had this?
I had Big Jim. He was like a rug. Look at him. Look at his chest. It's all chiseled, this guy. He was the ultimate outdoorsman, this guy.
You're kind of creeping me out right now.
He was the ultimate outdoorsman, this guy. So what they had was like that Charlie's Angels camper. They had a Big Jim's camper where he could go in there and he'd have on like flannels and a hat, and the side of it opened up like it was a canopy, and then they had a picnic table that went under that, and they also had a boat, a little plastic boat that went on top of it. A rowboat, and I'd put him in my pool all the time in the boat. And then after I was done with it, obviously, after I was done with it, I put it back in its box so somebody else can enjoy pleasure from Big Jim.
Pleasuring himself with Big Jim. It's funny too, because what was that old joke about like Barbie ended up dating him, and they would go in the camper, and then she divorced him when he found out he didn't like women, and he got the house, the camper, and this and that. Remember that was the old joke, something like that. I have the commercial, I think, here. I think I have it. Yeah, I do. You want to take a look?
Which one? The Big Jim camper?
No, just
Big Jim.
You've got Big Jim and Big Jeff hacking across the land, stopped cold by a gleaming hand of the incredible Dr. Steel. With rugged face and strange tattoo, you make him break a bar in 2.
That guy looks like Joe Rogan a little bit.
Is he friend or is he foe? The incredible Dr. Steel.
He was always a foe.
In the safari outfit, Big Jim, Big Jeff, and the incredible Dr. Steel eat so separately.
I don't remember those other two, Big Jeff.
I do remember the actual. I love the way they chopping things, and it's kind of it's like Big Jim is chopping.
Couldn't chop anything.
I was too old for this, I think, when it came out, but my brother had it, and every kid in the neighborhood had it, and it was like the greatest. You don't know what's coming up, right? So
no,
everyone had this. This is like a very cool thing, and it was made by other people later on.
Yeah, big wheel.
All right,
that's a big wheel. I got a good story for that.
You tell me.
I used to drive that big wheel on Boyd Avenue in Jersey City all the time, up and down. You'd stay on the sidewalk. You couldn't go in the street with it, so you'd stay in there. And then there was this one girl lived about 3 doors away from me, Debbie Rayside, and Debbie was the same age as me, and it was like we went to school together. So I said, "Hey, Debbie, why don't you be my wife and get on the back of the big wheel?" So she goes, "I don't really want to." I said, "Just get on the back of the big wheel. Come on, we'll go for a ride." We went down the block. She fell off and broke her arm. Broke her arm. I broke a girl's arm on a big wheel.
Wow, that's nasty.
Yeah. Till this
Really
day,
nasty.
I still bring that up, the big wheel. with Debbie.
I'm sure she brings it up too. And back in the actually now, if that happened, they take your house. They have to break into kids' house. Like back in the day, it was like, don't worry about it. All right, we'll go to the doctor. It'll be fine.
And I think the sidewalk right next to the house next to us, the tree was taking the concrete up, so the big wheel hit the lip in the concrete. Gone.
Oh my, that's terrible.
Debbie
Here it
Racing.
is. This is the big wheel commercial back then.
Big wheels are a-rolling with big fat wheels in back.
Oh, they skid too. I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Those fat back wheels are something else. They're fat enough
Those
to
were
take
big wheels, man.
you enough, so when you
But I gotta tell you something. That thing
Yeah.
really worked. It worked well.
with hand brake and fat wheels in back. Some assembly required. Big Wheel by Marks.
Mark's
Mark's.
Toys. That's right. Mark's Toys. And it was a great toy. It really was.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, every kid played it. Well, we got so many more to go, and we're like 10 minutes before the show ends. We haven't
We got
even
like
like
15 minutes. Let's go 15
What?
more minutes. Let's go 15
Yeah,
more
well-
minutes.
Okay, so much for format.
Color forms.
This is
Color
another-
forms. Yeah.
Another classic.
This I had so much fun. They made so many different things. I don't remember the Peanuts ones, but what
Well-
would happen is that picture, yeah, the picture in the background. Oh, that's the one I remember.
Oh yeah.
That's the one I remember where you could put a like the yellow lady with the blue pants or the red skirt and you put the green arms on her or next to the green guy with the red shoes and the yellow arms, and you would be making it would stick to that picture above it.
Yeah, and I remember that is the silliest. And they had so many themes with them. They had like a million themes of color forms,
Sure.
but every
Yeah.
kid had them. I mean, it started out back actually in the late 50s, early 60s with Raggedy Ann. That was the big first ones, I believe.
I think I do remember that.
Because I was researching this stuff when I was looking up. I'm an idiot savant. I have nothing else to do during a pandemic. What else am I going to look at? What do you want? What should I do? Learn about making money or being healthy?
Why would you do that?
I'm sitting here drinking Bosco. You're having soda, and then I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm going to have some fried chicken wings when I get done and French fries.
I had White Castle today. Took a half hour ride to go get White Castle.
Let me ask you a question before we even go any further. White Castle is a very interesting story. How many of those can you eat in a sitting? Seriously.
I used to eat 5. I had 6 today, but
Single?
I probably could have done 10.
This singles? Yeah, I've eaten 10.
Single.
I've had single. I usually now I get double cheeseburgers because I want to double my heart disease more quickly.
I want to get it over a lot quicker.
But honestly, here's the question: should be how many of those can you eat in one sitting before you lose your wife that night?
I got to tell you, I bought a 20-pack today with 4 fries and an order of mozzarella sticks because
Okay.
White Castle makes the best mozzarella sticks.
What
it
about
cost me like $34.
Wait till we do the food show. That's going to be another thing. All the food.
White Castle is still around, man. And did you know White
but
Castle is owned by White Castle? There's no franchise, so you can't buy a White Castle.
I actually watched a documentary on it, and the woman who's in charge is the daughter of the person that owned it, the family, said that she has no intentions of growing bigger and becoming corporatized. Like
No way.
they just want to keep what they have and just keep it working well, just the way it always has been, which I really have a lot of respect for.
And you know what makes the burgers taste the best is the onions.
Those fried little onions.
Fried
Yeah.
little onions. But those are the things that they call them belly bombers for a reason, because after a while you hear,
But I don't like onions. Like generally speaking, I never eat onions. I don't cook an onion, and I don't even like it on a burger. Like when you order a
Oh, I
burger
do.
out, but those little fried onions are sweet, and then
They
it's
sit
the
there.
perfect combination of food. Think about this: you got the perfect combo. You have a soft steamed bun.
right?
You have a thin piece of fattening cheese. You have the sweetness of these fried onions.
That
and
look
then
like
you
a
have-
dice with the holes in them.
Yeah, the little piece of kangaroo meat's got the holes in it. It's a very thin piece of very salty, MSG filled, probably meat, right? And then you put
Right.
ketchup, salty, sweet, tangy. So you got
And
the
pickles.
combination. And
And
what's
pickles.
that?
And
And a
pickles.
pickle, with a little punch of a pickle. I mean, what more? I mean,
That was
it's like, what more is that? I mean, But you guys look way too young to remember all these things. Yeah, that's right. You haven't seen the rest of our chins.
John looks like John Galasso looks like an evil guy in like Willy Wonka in a chocolate factory.
Oh, you mean the German guy, the guy who plays the German?
Oh, that was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. He looks like
Like that little mustache there. He looks like you will not take the chocolate bar. You will not take
John Galasso. Sir John. You should call him Sir John.
Sir John, you should do any song. Weed Everywhere. Yeah, nobody knows about that. The Weed Everywhere Man song. What did she say? My dad used to call them heartburn specials. Now, there's been many names for this.
Belly Bombers was the one I know.
Belly, yeah. And then there were also some names I wouldn't even say now to keep the show clean. But
Murder Burgers too. Weren't they called Murder Burgers? Yeah, Murder Burgers.
And by the way, when did you go to eat these burgers? The best time. The best time.
After you were drinking, right. 2 o'clock in the morning. Right. And you know what? The cops never caught on to that. The cops, or if you had a quota to fill, all you had to do was be sitting outside a White Castle at 2:30 in the morning, and you could have filled your entire calendar with DWIs.
That is the truth. And you know, I do remember too, like after a night of like 7-Eleven drinks or whatever. What do you call the drinks we used to have back then? 7. What is it? 7 and 7. 7 and 7. I used to go out and 7 and 7 all night long, right? And then, you know, back then it was disco day, so you go to the disco, a couple of 7, you know, 3, 4, 5. You know, I didn't dance; I would have the drinks, and then it's 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. There's a line. Go to Rail White Castle, a line, and everybody's like, all right, okay, I want 42 burgers, 10 fries. 3 large vanilla shakes, 6 chocolate shakes. I want, you know, the onion rings and all that stuff. And they would make them real quick, and you'd sit there and eat them like it was it was oxygen.
Candy. Like it was candy.
Yeah.
Like it was candy. Yeah, we had one up at Journal Square in Jersey City, and man, it was 2:30 in the morning. Bink, right there. They actually had a White Manor right near there, which was even just as good.
It's the ripoff of the whole thing, right?
Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get a couple of. Let's get Connect 4. Look at Connect 4.
You remember that?
I do remember that. I do remember the red and the. They still have some kind of Connect 4. Actually, they have beach games where they're big Connect 4s, and a lot of arcades they play like the digital Connect 4s. But that was
giant one. Yeah.
Yeah. The giant one.
I got the video. I'm not going to show the video on all of these because I want to get through a couple more. I mean, this is, another classic one.
Don't spill the beans. It was a pot that was not. It was it was full to the top, but you get to put a couple beans in there, and whoever's bean, it was like on a swing, like a right. So you put a bean on there, and the pot would, you know, whoever's bean knocked it over, you were the loser.
It's actually a silly game, but they were all made by the same company. You know, they were all like the same. And Ants in the Pants was made by that. Etch-a-Sketch, you can't. How great was Etch-a-Sketch?
Etch-a-Sketch. What was there's a comedian who does something. I got Etch-a-Sketch. Oh, Rich Schultes. All I could do, I made the square.
Yeah, I know. It took you forever.
Or the stairs.
Yeah, forever. And tell me the truth. When it broke, there was always a piece that you'd roll over and like it would have a missing like line dots. You couldn't get the dots at that one spot. You know what I mean? Like somehow something happened.
There would always be like, I mean, there's guys when they had the commercial, they were showing you guys drawing Santa Claus, and there was another guy that had a picture of Mick Jagger and you know, Aerosmith, and I'm like, hey, I'm getting this, man. I'm gonna do Kiss. I'm gonna you know, Gene Simmons. And I was like, okay, I got the stairs.
That's what I did. You could make a show. I have a guy out of California in my entertainment company that we send out that goes out and comes to parties with little ones and will make your face of people's at the party in like minutes and then lock it and give it to you as a gift. You got to fly him in and pay. Yeah, he's like $3,000 an event. He comes in and he does like 15 or 20 in a 3-4 hour period. That's it.
That's amazing.
Ton of money.
He's got more time on his hands than you.
He's an artist that knows how to do something that, you know, that's what makes him special. How about this? Hungry Hippos, everyone classic.
Yeah, but then everybody started hitting those the ass tails too hard, and then the marbles would shoot all over the place, and you lose marbles, and the game was useless if you didn't have marbles.
I've been losing my marbles forever.
Lincoln
This
Logs.
is now.
Love it.
Did these by Kennex? They connected like in a sticky way? What was the deal with these Lincoln Logs?
No, they didn't connect in a sticky way. If you remember, the logs had the same opening,
cutout,
groove, the same
joint
groove in the log, right? And they make bigger logs and they make smaller logs, and you would almost interlock them, but they were just laying on top of each other. There was no lock, and then you could also, those roofing panels would fit in that groove. I got to tell you a great story about that. I used to build log cabins, but I would take my Matchbox cars, right? My Matchbox cars, and make garages out of those, out of the Lincoln Logs. And then to take it a step further, I used to go under my bed. And if you had your bed, you had those boards that kept the mattress from falling through. You know, the boards underneath your bed that kept the box spring from falling through. I would take those out and make ramps. So I would be able to go up on my couch, come over here all the way down the couch, have another ramp on the other side, come down, park my car in the garage. It was a whole setup.
You know, I'm confused now because when I brought up that picture of Lincoln Logs, which is saying connected, I always remember about it sticking. And I, as a kid, there was an round thing, came in a round thing, and it was called Magic Wood. And by the way, no pun intended, but this Magic Wood was kind of like Lincoln Logs, but they didn't have the connectors. They had just they had something on them that was kind of like a sticky.
Yeah, these weren't sticky. The wood.
These were sticky, but they weren't sticky that you put them on the carpet and they picked up the stuff. You just stuck them together any way you wanted and make anything you want out of it because it was Magic Wood. I just remembered this now. I don't know if anyone else remembers Magic Wood, but I remember playing with that for hours.
Listen, I'm going to give everybody out there a tip about Magic Wood.
You don't give us the tip of the wood.
Do not Google Magic Wood on your work computer.
Good, touche. Good point.
That's just a little tip from us over here.
We're at 1 hour, by the way.
Go ahead,
And
4 more minutes. Do one more.
3,000 people watching. So
we did this last week. The invisible
we did
helmet.
last week? No,
I think we did.
No,
maybe we did. All right, go ahead, bring it up.
Well, there's a couple of points about it. Can you see it right now? There it is. The invisible helmet. You can see it.
Yeah.
Now this was before me, I think, because I don't remember this space helmet is called "Join the Space Race with the Great." Oh, I think we did bring it up last week. But the reason why I brought it up this week instead, because I found out more information about it. It was from a 1950s television show, and this is what
Captain Video.
No, well, that's what I thought when I first heard it. It's Space Cadet Cosmic Visor Helmet, and there was a name of a there is Tom Corbett. That sound familiar? That's not familiar to me.
Corbin Toys, no?
No, the guy Tom Corbett apparently was either a character or an actor inside. And I have the video here. It's funny. And when you bought this thing for $1.98, first of all, when you bought it, what you got was those two pieces of plastic at the bottom and the plastic top, and then a plastic piece in the middle, and you put this thing over your head. And when it's all done, what does it look like? It looks like that.
I can still see it.
You can see it?
But no, I could still see it. But they were telling you were being invisible.
Yes. But now who is Tom Corbett is the question.
I don't know.
So, well, I looked up let's see, Tom Corbett. It was here it is, a space. It was a 1955 show, Tom Corbett. It was way before I was born. And I have the video here just to show you who this guy is, because I have no idea. But I thought it was interesting.
Was it 1955, you said?
Yeah.
That's when they went back to the future, by the way. November 5th, 1955.
Wow, good trivia.
Why'd they call this an invisible helmet?
I guess it had something to do with the show, the Tom Corbett. I love that. Check out that spaceship.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
It's all cardboard and it looks worse. Anyway, I'll speed through this a little bit, but there he is. Take it off. Apparently, that must be Tom Corbett. He's I think that's the guy. He's an astronaut, and There they are. Let me see if I can get them looking through the window here. This is retro television from the 1955.
When did television start?
I don't know. That's
It could
Tom
have been-
Corbin.
It
See
could have
that
been
guy?
in the 40s. That'd be in the 50s.
It was, yeah. I thought that was like really weird and interesting. Like, I'm like, wow, that was way before my time, you know?
Tom Corbin.
Yeah,
Look him
never
up.
heard of him, but I'm sure
sure he's
somebody, I'm sure somebody's old. I'm sure somebody's old enough to remember him though.
Now, what's Eddie laughing at? He's just like laughing. See, we
I
get
don't know,
these
'cause-
comments a little later.
Yeah, I
So when
know.
you're gonna make a comment, you're gonna laugh my ass off. You wanna put at, Hasbro.
I think it has a timing too. So I'm going to just zip through a couple of things here that I think are relative. That stuff.
Hurry up. We want to 110. We're done.
Yeah, we're way
We
off
want
here.
people coming back, man. We don't want to give the milk away for free. Gumby, damn it. And Gumby, damn
Yeah.
it.
Come on, how great was Gumby? Gumby and all that stuff was so
Gumby
awesome.
and Pokey. Gumby and Pokey.
Yeah, I had the plastic one that you could bend and do whatever you want with, kind of.
Yeah, but that was like rubber. I mean, it was like it was almost like a piece of gum. If you took a piece of gum, it would just stay. If you had Gumby, you could push him down and he would just stay like that.
Yeah, for Pokey. And how about this guy?
Twister.
That was the
That
greatest.
was a good one. That was a good one. If you were having trouble meeting girls,
Right.
you would say, "Hey, anybody want to play Twister?" And then
You don't want to play that with the guys.
Yeah, I mean, if all guys said, "Yeah, I'm in, I'll play," then you just said, "Oh, forget it, I don't want to play." I mean, that's a stupid idea.
out.
But if two girls want to play, that's toss across. I like that game too.
That was a great one. All right, I'm going to zip it through these.
Shrinky Dinks. Oh, I like to spend Shrinky Dinks real quick. Was they gave you this metal outline and you take this liquid and put it in there with a dropper, and then you put it in the oven and it would shrink down and make it a hard little like necklace pendant or something.
Do you remember? Do you remember the music from that?
Shrinky Dinks?
Yeah.
Probably spooky, right? Was it spooky?
I'll show you.
No, that's Tom Corbin again.
It's Tom Corbin.
Tom Corbin. He likes Shrinky Dinks. Take control.
Right here.
Betty's Attic?
Yeah, I actually know this person.
Oh, you colored it, yeah. Then you put it in the oven. There's no way that came out the same way. It was always crooked. Had a bubble in it.
By color forms.
By color forms. Look at that.
You see, actually, Shrinky Dinks, I think they worked pretty well. I do remember that you put them in the oven and they did come out just the way they were supposed to. I do remember that.
Yeah, there was always a little something got burned, or it was, one of the pictures looked like it was pregnant. Because it wouldn't always come out shrinked the correct way.
Yeah.
But I had it mixed up. There was another thing where there was a metal outline and you'd put a liquid in it and bake it, and then you'd have like stained glass almost. That's what I got it mixed up with.
Yeah, that's right. There was stained glass was big in the 70s, as well as, do you remember also going to get to you go to this place to buy pottery, and then you'd paint it and they'd fire it up for you. They'd fire it for you, come back a week later, and it was
glazed they glazed it.
No, wait. The clay was gray soft, right? No, it was white. It was actually white clay. It was hard, and you could paint it, and then they'd spray a glaze on it to make it look almost like shiny.
Yes.
Or you could buy the one that was dark color, which is a soft clay that you could crack in your hands if you weren't light with it. You painted it, you gave it to them, they put it in this big heater, and it would come out baked, and when it came out, it was shiny and beautiful and like glass.
Yeah, there was a store right down the block from my house on West Side Avenue, and the guy, all he would do is make these things, hang them up on the wall. You'd go in there, buy it, you'd have your paints at home, you painted it, you brought it to him, he sprayed it, and then I think he baked it just to give it that extra sealing, and that's how I got all my Christmas knickknacks, man. You know, you only
They
have
were
like
all over the place.
$1.20. You know,
But-
you have
but they were
$1.20, but you
popular.
want that big Santa that costs like $6. You couldn't do it,
Right.
so you had to
And
steal it.
then I remember in the glazed ones, you could buy the paint and it had little flecks in it. So let's say you had white with black. So if you're painting a cat, you could paint it white on the gray, and it had little pieces of like little boogers on it. And then when it glazed it, it became like little black spots in the middle of the glass.
I
But the
don't
white
remember that.
one, yeah, the white one, when the thing was white, dry white clay, not clay, when it was dry white like chalkish, when you painted that one and you sprayed glaze
Was
on
it
it.
plaster?
The other- Yeah, it was like plaster of Paris. Yeah.
Yeah, plaster of Paris.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
As opposed to-
listen, to give him the Facebook page.
What is the Facebook page?
I don't know, not the
Is it
Facebook
all-
page. Give him the YouTube. The YouTube.
It's
Listen, we're going to put this out there. We want you guys to go on YouTube, give us some views, and you know, we're here. We're going to be here. We're going to be here next week, Wednesday or Thursday.
probably Wednesday, Thursday, because I got Tuesday. I have a show. I have some private stuff too.
Wednesday
by
or
the way-
Thursday. We'll put it out. We'll put it out.
I'm going to put the link in there, and they get a prize if they do it. The prize is some special food that we're going to give to everybody that I invented.
What is that? That's meatball sauce of hot dogs.
You can't
That's,
tell what that is.
spaghetti hot dogs. What is it? Spaghetti hot
You
dogs.
take the spaghetti that's uncooked and you put it through the hot dogs,
I like
and then you
that.
put it all together.
I'm
That's
going to try that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to
You like
do
it,
a
huh?
video on it, Facebook Live, to make that.
Yeah, you're right. It would actually do very well. People would want to see that.
Well,
You
thanks.
know,
Listen,
definitely.
we're way over. We're way over.
I know. I warned you.
But
I'm
we
all
got it.
for
We got to keep them coming back for more. So thanks for watching, man. This was a lot of fun, and it, you know, I think it's interesting. I think people like that. I think we're onto something here, Johnny.
I got so many more. I haven't even had a chance to show you. There was
Save 'em.
nerfs and all
Save 'em.
kinds of stuff that we didn't do.
We got plenty of time.
It's been too much fun. And let me just check the comments before we leave. Let's just see. Everyone's getting F you. Okay.
I'll put those up. LOL. Jeff Snyder. No.
I did
unfilling.
And Bob was like, "End with a commercial." That's a good point. And
Yeah, we
Daniel
should.
Miller.
You know
All
what?
right, so I'm
End with
gonna-
a commercial. You have commercials up there of something we didn't see.
So I have commercial. Let's see. All right. This is something. I'll end with this. This is something when I was a little kid that I loved. And by the way, you're gonna know what it is. You've seen this before. I would assume you've seen it before. Is this it? Is this it? Let me see. No, that's not it. This should be this. Okay, tell me, can you see that?
Yeah.
You get to see it before I do, by the way.
Super elastic bubble plastic.
Yeah. Do you remember that junk?
Yeah, you put it on the end and it would make a balloon.
That's kind of what it did. And it had a kind of really toxic, weird smell.
Yes. I'm sure a lot of people, I bet you more people died from that than coronavirus.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you would sniff.
Yes.
You
But it
get
was always
high.
color. And if you didn't get if you put the straw that you were blowing the air into to make the bubble not far enough into that little gel, you would blow your ears out.
You're absolutely right. Yep,
You
absolutely
blow
right.
your ears out.
And I remember it. Well, again,
All right.
like this has been too much fun.
Here's the story
Next week,
of a lovely lady who was bringing up three
Next week we're gonna do what?
Yeah.
TV shows?
say again.
We're gonna do TV shows next week.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let me work on getting us a special guest for TV shows next week.
That'd be great. Get somebody in. All
All
right,
right,
Walter,
Johnny.
it's been too much fun. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy, share, like, and say hello.